Hello, beautiful soul of Scorpio. Of course. Here's your rewritten paragraph in the grounded, emotionally reflective voice of Selena Hart, in English, with longer introspective phrasing and natural pauses that lead the viewer through the spiritual weight of the moment. Scorpio, have you been feeling it too? That quiet tension in the air, like something is building just beneath the surface but hasn't yet broken through? If so, you're not imagining it. Between August 3rd and 5th, you are stepping into what some would call a portal. But this isn't just some mystical idea meant to sound good in theory, it's real. A 72-hour energetic shift is approaching, and it's been tailor-made for you, not for who you were, but for who you've become. You see, the universe doesn't operate on convenience or comfort. It works on alignment. And this particular alignment is only visible, only accessible to those who are awake enough to recognize it and bold enough to respond when it calls. So here's the truth. Something is coming, and it's not just good news. It's something shocking in its clarity, in its timing, in its divine orchestration. Something that might shift your path completely. But this blessing, these three blessings, in fact, aren't being handed out like candy. They are reserved for the souls who have already done the inner work, who have already sat through the silence, the loss, the waiting. For the Scorpios who have lost parts of themselves and found a way to keep moving anyway. For the ones who have begged the universe for a sign, not knowing that the silence was actually the preparation. And now it begins. But this isn't the kind of moment you stumble into by accident. You have to show up for it. You have to meet it halfway. There's no chasing here, just choosing. No begging, just claiming. That's why if your intuition has been louder than usual, if your dreams have been intense, or your body has felt more sensitive lately, you're not being dramatic. You're being called. This 3-day portal is not a time to prove your worth. It's a time to remember it, to remember what you've survived, what you've rebuilt, and how far you've already come. So the question is, will you be present when the moment arrives? Will you recognize the phone call, the message, the unexpected offer, not as coincidence, but as confirmation? Because Scorpio, the blessings aren't delayed, they've already been sent. But they only arrive to the version of you who is brave enough to say, I'm ready. Not someday, not when things feel easier, but now, right now. And maybe you've been doubting lately. Maybe the silence has made you question whether anything is really moving. But the stillness isn't emptiness. It's the inhale before the breakthrough. It's the hallway before the door swings open. And between August 3rd and 5th, the door doesn't just open, it swings wide, but only if you're willing to walk through it. Will you? Because this time, the miracle isn't somewhere out there waiting to be found. It's already on its way. The only thing left to do is believe it's meant for you. And when this energy arrives, Scorpio, it won't always introduce itself with flashing lights or grand gestures. Sometimes it comes quietly, disguised as an everyday moment that only your soul can truly recognize. That's why you must stay attuned. Over the next few days, there will be 3 specific signs that may appear in your reality, and these are not random. They are your cues, your confirmations, your personal coordinates in the cosmic map unfolding beneath your feet. The first is a phone call or message that shifts something. It may come from someone unexpected. It may even feel inconvenient or ill-timed, but it holds a ripple. It may be an opportunity, an apology, an offer, or a piece of information that changes your perspective in a way you didn't even know you needed. Don't dismiss it. Don't leave it unread. These aren't casual interruptions. They are signals. If your heart feels a slight tremor when the message arrives, if your breath catches for a second before you answer the call, pay attention. Your intuition knows when something is more than coincidence. Follow that. The second is the inner nudge, the one that doesn't let up. You'll feel it not just as a thought, but as a knowing that settles deep in your chest, a whisper that says, now. You might wake up and suddenly feel clear for the first time in weeks. You might find yourself standing still in the middle of a routine moment and sensing that you're supposed to do something different. Reach out to someone, start something new, close a door, take a risk. You won't always know why. That's the thing about timing. This divine, it doesn't wait for logic. It waits for readiness. So if something inside you rises and says it's time, trust it. Not later, now. And the third sign will feel almost too perfect to be true. It might come as an opportunity, a chance encounter, a job offer, a moment of alignment so precise it almost feels staged. But it's not coincidence. It's calibration. The universe has been organizing the pieces behind the scenes while you were healing, while you were resting, while you were doubting whether any of this was still meant for you. Now the opening appears, and your only task is to recognize it, not with skepticism, not with fear, but with the calm confidence of someone who finally understands. I don't need to chase what's already mine. I just need to say yes when it arrives. So if one or all of these signs appear, don't second guess yourself. Don't fall back into patterns of delay or disbelief. These moments are not just happening to you, they are happening for you. And this time you are not here to miss it. You are here to claim it. If you are present enough to recognize the signs and brave enough to answer them, then what follows is not just a shift, it's a realignment. Because Scorpio, when the universe opens a portal this powerful, it doesn't come empty-handed. There are 3 blessings on their way to you, and they're not abstract, they're not symbolic. They are real, tangible shifts that will touch the areas of your life that have felt dry, stagnant, or quietly aching for change. But again, these blessings are not for those who are half awake. They are reserved for those who show up with open hands and open hearts. The first blessing is financial, unexpected, undeniable, and long overdue. This could look like money arriving out of nowhere, a refund you forgot about, a raise you didn't anticipate, a sale that finally closes, or an idea you quietly nurtured that suddenly takes off and gains traction without warning. But here's the deeper truth beneath it. This isn't just about money. This is about movement, about momentum, about being reminded that your value has always been there, even when it felt unseen. This is the breakthrough that reminds you you're not stuck. You were simply being prepared for a flow that wouldn't arrive until you were truly ready to receive it. The second blessing will ripple through your relationships, but not necessarily in the way your heart might expect. Someone may exit your life quietly or suddenly, and someone else may enter just as fast, and both moments will feel strangely necessary, even if they're uncomfortable. This is the universe rearranging the emotional furniture of your life so that love, true love, not conditional attachment, has space to breathe. If someone leaves, it's not punishment, it's release. If someone arrives, it's not luck, it's timing. Either way, this emotional shift is not meant to break you. It's meant to clear the space for connection that is healthier, more reciprocal, more soul-led than anything you've settled for in the past. And the third blessing is the most personal, the one that happens deep beneath the surface. Your energy returns. After months or even years of feeling foggy, scattered, unsure of who you are or where you're going, you suddenly remember. You feel it, the fire, the direction, the quiet inner certainty. Your mind clears, your body feels lighter, and that voice inside, the one you silenced to survive, starts to speak louder again. And this time, you don't ignore it, because this time, you know what it cost you to live out of alignment. This isn't just clarity, it's power. And you'll feel it, not because anything around you has changed yet, but because something inside you has clicked back into place. Scorpio, these blessings are not bribes, they are returns. What you thought was gone, forgotten, or missed is circling back, not as it once was, but transformed, elevated, and ready to meet the version of you who is no longer willing to settle for less. These are not rewards for perfection, they are acknowledgments for persistence. And now the question is not, will they come? The question is, will you be ready when they arrive? But as with any sacred alignment, Scorpio, the arrival of these blessings comes with one quiet warning. Don't assume they're guaranteed. Because even divinely orchestrated gifts can pass you by if you allow yourself to fall back into old habits, old patterns, old entanglements. The universe can deliver, yes, but it will also test. And that test doesn't always show up as something dramatic. Sometimes it shows up as a familiar face, a familiar fear, or a familiar trap dressed in comfort. And if you're not careful, the very thing you've waited for could be blocked by what you're still choosing to tolerate. So first, protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. And this week, you cannot afford to entertain energy vampires. That includes the person who only calls when they need something, the friend who cloaks envy in passive aggression, or the ex who suddenly resurfaces just to talk when you know damn well it's not innocent. Even one text message, one draining conversation, one emotional spiral can collapse the frequency you've spent so long raising. So if your body tenses when their name pops up, if your gut whispers no, Listen, this isn't the time to be polite. It's the time to be powerful. And sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is hit block without explanation. Second, stop second guessing yourself. You don't need 10 people's opinions to confirm what your intuition already told you in the first 5 seconds. You've trained yourself to question your knowing because it made others uncomfortable. But this portal, it's not about their comfort. It's about your clarity. And if you keep pausing to doubt, analyze, or seek permission, the moment may pass. So the next time your gut gives you a signal, go. Trust it. Let it guide you, not because it's always easy, but because it's always right. This isn't about being reckless. It's about reclaiming your inner compass and walking like someone who finally believes in their own discernment. And third, let go of what's trying to leave. I know that's hard. I know your heart is loyal even to what hurts you, but holding on to what's crumbling doesn't preserve it. It just prolongs the pain. And right now, the universe is trying to upgrade your life in every direction, but it can't place something sacred in hands that are still clinging to what's expired. So if something starts to unravel, a relationship, a routine, an identity, even a version of yourself you've outgrown, don't chase it. Don't bargain with it. Don't beg it to stay. Let it fall, let it fade. Not because you're giving up, but because you're finally making space for something better, something real, something meant. So Scorpio, as this portal opens, you must move with both trust and responsibility. The blessings are real, the signs are active, but the energy is fragile. And this time, your job is not to chase or control. It's to align, protect, and allow. Because what's coming is not small, and you'll only receive it if you have the strength to let everything else fall away. Now that you know what's coming, the only question left is, will you meet it halfway? Because this portal, as powerful as it is, isn't something you just wait around for. It responds to your readiness, to your intention, to your ability to show up energetically and say, I'm not hoping anymore, I'm claiming. And that claiming, Scorpio, begins in the quietest way. Start your morning differently. Wake up just a little earlier than usual, before the world gets loud again, before the distractions pull you back into habit. Sit in stillness, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Breathe deeply. Feel your body. Feel the now. And speak out loud. Yes, speak it. I claim what's already mine. Let the words ring true in your chest, not as a wish, not as a maybe, but as a decision, because that's what this portal responds to. Not desperation, but certainty, the kind of certainty that only comes from someone who's already walked through fire and is no longer afraid of their own light. If you feel guided, write. Jot down the thoughts, the images, the quiet instructions that come without warning. Those are not just ideas. They're downloads. The universe doesn't waste energy during a moment like this. And if your spirit calls for ritual, answer that too. Light a candle, any color that feels aligned. And while its flame flickers, say your desires aloud. Don't just think them, speak them. And embody them, imagine them as if they're already here, because on the energetic level, they are. And if during any of this, whether it's in silence or journaling or candlelight, you feel chills or heat or tears or an inexplicable rush in your chest, don't ignore it. That's not your imagination. That's your soul remembering. That's the activation. You're not just preparing for change. You're stepping into it. You're not watching your destiny approach. You're becoming the person it's been waiting for. Because this is not just a prediction. This is personal. This is the moment where your soul takes the lead and your mind finally stops doubting what your body has known all along. This is where it begins. Not in fanfare or fantasy, but in presence, in ritual, in choosing again and again to believe in your own becoming. So Scorpio, if you've felt something stir while listening to this, if your chest tightened, if your eyes welled up, if your spirit whispered, this is for me, then believe it. The prophecy is not out there. It's in you. You are the portal. You are the one who decides if the door opens or stays closed. And this is not your ending. It is the quiet, sacred beginning of everything you've prayed for in silence. The things you buried when no one was looking, the dreams you dared not say aloud, the versions of yourself you thought were lost. You endured, Scorpio. You shed, you outgrew, you survived. And now it's time to receive. not with fear, not with apology, but with open hands and open heart, because you are not here by accident. You're here because the universe is finally ready to deliver what's always been yours. The only thing left is for you to say yes.